Cook recently took to IG Live and pinned his own comment in said live. That comment read, 15 mil year. That looks like the money that James Cook is demanding from the Buffalo Bills. So on today's show, we answer the question, what to do with James Cook. I know, he's a player who's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He was a big part of Buffalo's offense this year and another weapon in a very thin offensive weaponry room for Josh Allen and company. So we'll dive into whether or not you should pay him the big bucks or maybe move on from Cook on today's show. But before we do, I was just in a meeting with my bosses here at Chat Sports, and they said, Smitty, you better get 25 subscribers on this Bills video, or you're not hosting this Bills channel anymore. You're not going to see my face on the Bills Breakdown any longer. That means something bad could happen. In my book, at least, if we don't get 25 subs on this show. So if you're part of Bills Mafia and you're a diehard Bills fan, you want free, informative, entertaining content right here on the channel, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. All right, James Cook wants the bag. Like, a lot of money. Like I just said, $15 million per year is what he's asking for via his own IG Live. Kind of similar to the way that he was talking way back when, or it's kind of similar to the way that his brother was talking way back when he was demanding big money from the Minnesota Vikings. He's due up for that extension, and he wants to get paid the big bucks after a couple of big-time seasons. So if he wants $15 million, where does that put him, right? Like I feel like that's the first question we have to ask ourselves. If Cook wants $15 million, which is a huge number for running back, right? We had that big free agency last year where all these different backs got paid, but not a lot of them got up to that $15 million per year number. So where would that put James Cook in the highest paid running backs per year in the NFL? So if you take a look here, Christian McCaffrey at the top. This goes by AAV, so that's the average annual value on your contract per season. Christian McCaffrey at $19 million. Number 2, Jonathan Taylor at $14 million. Saquon Barkley at $12.6 million. Maybe the best value in all of the NFL. Kamara makes $12.3. Joe Mixon under there at $9.9 million. So only 4 running backs in this league make over $10 million. James Conner at $9.5. David Montgomery at $9.1. He was just extended. Rhamondre Stevenson signed an extension last offseason. He's at $9 million a year. Chuba Hubbard at $8.3. And I cannot believe that I just said Chuba Hubbard before I said Derrick Henry, who may be actually on the biggest steal contract of the league at $8 million, even though he's close to 30 years old. But is James Cook among these names? I would say so. I would say James Cook is absolutely among the top 10 running backs in the NFL. But is he a top 3 overall back, like the $15 million would make him out to be on a new deal? That's a question we have to ask ourselves because we haven't seen the extended production from James Cook like we have for, say, a Christian McCaffrey or even a Jonathan Taylor for that matter, or a Saquon Barkley. Like, those guys get paid the big bucks for a reason because they've showed it over a long period of time. But Cook is only 25 years old right now, and he's entering the prime of his career, coming off of 2 awesome seasons where he eclipsed 1,000 yards each time. This guy's toting the rock for 5 yards a carry every single time. Did have that fumbling issue back in 2023, but you could see every year James Cook is becoming more and more effective and more acclimated and becoming more of a focal point in this Bills offense. The Bills are one of the better running teams in the NFL this year, and that was because of James Cook's production and a lot of the big playability that he had out of the backfield there. He was also a great pass catching back as well. Over the career, you could see he's got 20 touchdowns now. Like, a 16 touchdown season is nothing to shake your head at. Only 2 touchdowns in 2023. Upping that by 14 in last season. I mean, James Cook is primed for a major breakout. We saw him break out as well into the postseason this year. The 2024 playoff stats, he was getting the rock a good bit. Nearly 20 carries per game over the 3 games that Buffalo did play in the postseason. 270 yards, about 90 yards per postseason game. And like I said, this guy's 5 yards automatic every time he touches the rock. 3 touchdowns across those 3 games as well. But notoriously, he was not on that final drive that they played against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Spotrac did throw out a projection, though, to kind of make this contract seem a little bit worth it, seem a little bit team-friendly for James Cook to be paid the money that he wants to be paid. 3 years, $45 million. So, James Cook in 2025 will be playing on the last year of his rookie contract with a cap hit of $3.4 million. And for a Buffalo team that isn't kind of cap hell-ish right now, that's a great number to have on the roster for a player as productive as Cook's. But then, once the contract kicks in 2026, you see only a cap hit of $5.6 million. And then, potentially, you could be talking about, okay, is he super worth it at this point, post-age 27, where, a lot of people think running backs fall off. Maybe you can find an out with him at that point. And then, the big cap hit years start kicking in, $17.7 mil for 2027 and 2028 when he's 28 and 29 years old. Maybe they could find a way out of the deal after his age 2027 season. They would obviously have a dead cap of 14 mil and then a 10 mil on those following 2 years. Maybe the $3 million difference isn't all that worth it. But I think this is a good deal for James Cook because you cannot afford to lose James Cook. Pay the man. Let's be honest. Let me just run through the names real quick. Khalil Shakir. Yeah, he was good. Not great. You got Amari Cooper, never fully acclimated to the offense. Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. We're still waiting for the breakout from Kincaid. So who was the best weapon on the Bills' offense? It was James Cook. How many elite weapons do you have on this roster right now for Buffalo? I didn't even mention Curtis Samuel or Matt Collins yet. Not that many. And Amari Cooper's, who knows? He's probably not coming back to Buffalo in the offseason. You cannot afford to lose more weapons for Josh. You cannot put yourself in a position where you're asking him to do literally everything like you basically asked for him to do basically every single week already. You cannot afford to lose James Cook in this scenario. And I know $15 million is a lot for a running back, but you might have to just cough up the money at the end of the day. He's a superstar player. He makes uber big plays. I mean, he could bust out a 60-yard run for a tutty any single day of the week. That might be the move for Buffalo to go out there and pay James Cook because they don't have a lot of other weapons around James Cook and Josh Allen. What do you guys think, though? Is that number too high? Should the Bills pay James Cook $15 million per season? Type S for sign, type P for pass, and maybe the Bills just let James Cook run the rest of this rookie deal out and say they're bon voyage after the 2025 NFL season. Let me know down in the comments. The question you have to ask next about whether or not you pay James Cook, does Brandon Beane want to pay James Cook? Like, I'm not going to be the ones writing the check. Brandon Beane and Terry Pegula in the ownership room are going to be the ones writing the check. And like I mentioned before, the Bills didn't use James Cook all that much on that final drive, actually at all on that final drive against the Kansas City Chiefs, really for a lack of the whole fourth quarter. We didn't see much James Cook on the offense for Buffalo. So does Beane feel like he's somebody that should be part of this team long term and making big time money? Well, he probably should because Buffalo lost that game. We all know. They lost to the boogeyman of the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe James Cook would have been a difference instead of Ray Davis or Ty Johnson, who, in my opinion, those guys, neither of them could be every down backs. Neither of them could be your RB1 heading into week 1 of 2025. James Cook is a bona fide RB1, a bona fide top 10 running back in this league, and he's 25 years old. I would go pay the man. But Brandon Beane is not me. Like I just said, like if he does not want to pay James Cook, then do you trade him? Like, he's probably at the peak of his value right now as a back. He's entering the last year of his rookie contract. It's very valuable for a lot of teams in the league that are, running back hungry right now, looking for that bell cow guy. Is trading Cook an actual possibility? Well, since he's still in the rookie deal, it's probably not that worth it financially if the Bills are really just looking to open up cap space. Yeah, you save $5 million, but is opening up $5 million of cap space? Are you going to sign somebody for $5 million that's going to replicate what James Cook has been able to do for Buffalo up to this point? And obviously, you eat $355K of dead money. That doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that's pennies for an NFL franchise. I don't think that saving $5.2 million is necessarily worth it for Buffalo to go find another talent out there and let a guy like James Cook go and walk. So obviously, I don't think that a trade would be coming for Cook during this 2025 NFL offseason anytime soon. And I will say, though, the running back class in 2025, like if you do want some more help and you don't want to extend Cook all the way and maybe just let him ride out the last year of this rookie deal, the running back class in 2025 in this draft is absolutely stacked. Like you got guys like Cam Scattaboo and Donovan Edwards, and I'm talking about guys who were going on day 2, day 3 of the draft. I don't want to see Buffalo take a running back in round 1, obviously with Cook coming back next year. But like even the guys in round 1, like Quinshawn Judkins potentially, Ashton Genty, who we all know is going to be drafted very high. The 2025 class for backs is super stacked and super deep. And you can see it's like Caleb Johnson from Iowa. Like he's another name that could be going on day 2 that maybe Buffalo could take a look at. Because with the Bills' current draft selections right now, they have a lot to work with. 2 second-round picks, 2 fourth-round picks, 2 fifth-round picks. Like those are prime running back draft selection areas over there. And I could see the Bills maybe going running back in one of those scenarios. Like I know they have a deep quote-unquote room right now at that position, but at the end of the day, is investing a lot into Ray Davis or Ty Johnson necessarily worth it? No, you have a number 1 back in James Cook. Go get another guy that can complement him, and maybe just move Ty Johnson out of there. Go find yourself another third down back in Buffalo this year. So All in all, I'm kind of in favor of paying James Cook at the end of the day. I'll tell you how much I will pay him in just a moment. But what do you guys think? What to do with James Cook? Type T for trade, type K for keep. I don't really think it's all that worth it to trade him right now, but I would keep him because he's the best weapon on the Bills offense that's not named Josh Allen. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like I said, it would be silly to trade a 25-year-old player that's entering his prime, coming off 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, somebody who's fixed his fumbling issues over the last couple of years, and he's ascending. For everything that I've said in this video, Buffalo lacks offensive weapons. Why would you let another one walk? Or why would you willingly send another one away? I'm not in favor of trading James Cook whatsoever. I'd keep him, and I would actually try to negotiate a deal with him. Make the money work in some aspects, but I would try to get him to $12 million. If Brandon Beane's going to go to the negotiating room with James Cook and his agents and bring up some contracts and where he would stack up in this league, talk about Saquon Barkley. Talk about the $12.6 million that he's making on his contract annually, and give him some paid incentives, some performance-based incentives to maybe get him up to that $15 million that he's asking for. I'm not going to go out there and offer him $15 million off the rip, but if it does get to that point, I don't think James Cook is a player that Buffalo can afford to lose. Make sure you are subscribed, though, to the Bills Breakdown. We got to get 25 subs on this channel, or else I cannot host these videos anymore. And I don't know if you see my sweatshirt right here. I went to St. Bonaventure. I know the Western New York area and the geographic and the demographic very, very well. And I want to keep bringing you guys these videos right here on the Bills Breakdown. So if you're a diehard Bills fan, hit that sub button. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go Bills.